All right, it's the latest update on the 58 Eldorado Brougham engine work. So I've taken it to the point is I'm probably going to do all I can under the hood, or I've done all I can under the hood, getting ready to put the hood itself back on it. So this is it, and the air cleaner. But long, hard process here. And this is just the basically the heads up on the engine, been detailed. Now we got to get underneath it and do the bottom of it. And so it's actually not bad, but not that everybody sees that, but I'm going to make that really nice too. We've gotten all the firewall areas done in there. Excuse me, the firewall here, and all the fender well areas done there. And so I said it turned out pretty good. There's still some rough areas that I think could be better, but you know, it kind of goes with the age and patina of the car, because again, this is not a restoration. This is a comprehensive refresh is what it is. And things like this, as you see missing this, these are actually, you see all the repops are stickers that go on there. This is actually painted on there, and that's original to this thing. So that tells you that this is still original. So you can make that look better, but do you want to take that away from it? I don't know. And so there's all sorts of things like that that I leave on purpose, just because it, at least to me, says, you know, nobody's messed with that. And what else? So we've got this was a big to do here of trying to get this, because this is an interesting piece. It is normally out, and so it does a couple of different ways to go. So normally out, and when it starts up, the vacuum sucks it in, but the switch has to be on in order for it to do it. And so basically it releases power, and once the engine automatically starts as part of the auto start system, it also doubles as the air conditioning kick-up solenoid. So when you've add power to the air condition, it closes the vacuum and goes normally out again. So you have to adjust this in a position that works for both. So when it's out, it will actually set the choke and allow the choke to fully set. You can see down here to where it'll raise the idle up once it starts, and then the choke can open up. But that's a hard part to mess with and get right. And most of these cars probably don't have those on them anymore. If they do, they're non-functional. So that's functional. So there's really nothing on this car that is not functioning right now, factory spec wise. Even the memory seat kind of works well, but not very well. But we'll mess with that later. It's not a big deal. That's not that important to me. It moves. So, but we've got the wipers all going. Why is that out of a line there? It kind of bothers me there. It should be down a little bit. I think that's just the way the arm's sitting there. But they're the same. So next project, we'll get underneath it and start detailing that up. And of course the hood's gonna go back on, which shouldn't be a big deal, but you know, we got it marked. But you never know, it's always a big deal. Something. The car's this old, something always is harder than it should be on the air cleaner. Air cleaners, that's literally no big deal. But I've got pictures of that when I'll put it back on there. So, and that's it. And we've got the heater motor, which was out, the blower motor going, and so that's good. It wasn't out, it was making noise on the last video. So got that squared away, and the air conditioning's working. In fact, it was warm here today, and so I had it going for a little bit. I took it for a drive with the hood off around the area, just to make sure there wasn't any other loose ends that I had to deal with here. Yeah, there will be, but So one of the other projects I think I'm going to do when I'm down there is, and it's not bad, but it's one of those things, if you really, really like to punish yourself to the point of excruciation, is I'm going to try and do an in chassis rear main seal on this thing, and probably have to drop the crank down a little bit and all that. So it's going to be a real project there. It's not a bad leak, but it's bad enough to say, oh, you know, I remember those cars they were new, they were perfect. Yeah, whatever. They were not. And those Cadillac seals always had a problem on the rear main, but that's just if I feel inclined. If I just want to beat my head against the wall for a while, I'll do that. So I said, you can start one of these cars and reinvent the wheel from the ground up and probably spend the next 50 years of your life doing it. Or you can take a nice one and make it a little bit more comprehensively nice. And that's what I do. That's my life. I don't like to do restorations from the infinite level of bring it down to nothing, because you always see those cars. It's fresh restoration just for sale. Well, if you spend all that time restoring it, why are you selling it? I know why, because it didn't turn out the way you expected it to turn out. Well, guess what? This is turning out pretty damn good. And it's still original, and it still has flaws. But hey, that's the way it is. So, you know, we got a really other nice car here. This is a customer of mine. This car's just got a beautiful paint job. In fact, if you go back on Bring a Trailer, you'll see the transaction recently. He bought it and paid good money for it, but I think he actually got a pretty good buy, because I can tell you, knowing paint and cars, is you can get out of this paint job for more than 15 grand. It's so beautiful. Whoever Hamptons did a good job. I'm gonna look him up next time I want to reinvent a wheel and paint it. But yeah, he did a good job on this car. But this is a really pretty car. It's a 58 Coupe de Ville, and it looks, it's like anything. When you buy a car that is freshly, the sorting on this thing is, I can spend the next 10 years trying to sort this car, and I'm not sure it'll ever be sorted. But it runs and drives, and it does pretty well. And so that's the difference of taking a car that's a cosmetic, let's make it cosmetic for the general crowd, or taking a car and let's do some integrity to it. And that's what this car's about, integrity. And so that's a big deal. But anyway, that's just kind of my take on cars, and people that follow me for years know that I'll do that. And this is the 59 here. This is a nice car. This is, of course, it is a 59 Eldorado, so it's worthy of putting that time and effort and investment and sorting level into it. And I think, you know, you get a car like a 58 Coupe de Ville, which is a beautiful car. It just doesn't hold an intrinsic value like a 59 Eldorado does, or even a 58 Eldorado Brougham. So you're gonna get to the point to where you're gonna cut it off, and I think that's what happened to this car. It got cut off, and cut off at a good point, so it can keep going. It's a nice car. I like it a lot. So that's just more Cadillac stuff. We'll do some videos on this one later. What else? That's it. So the next time I'm going to show some other stuff on this car. We'll have the hood back on. I might actually, I'm not certain I'm going to do it, because we have 6 cars going in Dallas Autorama this year from this building, and this may be one of them. I didn't think I'd have it ready enough, and personally, it's not really ready enough for that anyway, but it may be. Again, that's just in 2 weeks, so we'll see. It's come a long way, and it's sorted. You know, didn't really need a lot of sorting because it's original, but taking a car apart like this and then putting it back together, a lot of things can happen, especially on one this old, and it's done pretty well. say it's run as good as it's ever has, for me at least. And I said it runs almost flawless. Still stinks like an old car. Still blows a little black smoke on the 6 barrels, which they all did. Try and get one of those not to run that way. Good luck. And it's powerful. You know, it has all of its horsepower on tap for sure. And so that's the update, and thanks for watching, and look back for more later.